Great games are not hard to find. Every genre has at least one game that brings something satisfying and fun to the table, and that's what makes gaming such an awesome thing. If there's a role that you want to fill, you can. You want to travel to distant planets and explore/kill stuff? You can do it. You want to flex your brain and solve puzzles? You can. You want to dig to the Earth's core for no reason? Here you go. You want to make a bunch of money off of 9-year-olds? Well, you can do that too, I guess. Personally, my favorite genre is horror. The scarier it is, the better. And I'm not talking about cheap jump scares. I mean those experiences that leave a long-lasting emotional impression upon your psyche. Watching horror is fun, but to experience it firsthand is so much scarier. It's one thing to watch someone else go through a terrifying experience, but to go through it yourself is a whole nother situation. There's nothing like that feeling of dread and uneasiness that comes with playing a good scary game. That's what makes them so enjoyable. The risk is its own reward. It's more satisfying to know that you made the right choice for your character instead of screaming at them for making a stupid one.
Don't go in there! Lord, I'm having a heart attack!
And in my opinion, there is no better example of that deep, scarring horror than the Silent Hill series. Just a quick disclaimer before we go any farther. There are spoilers ahead. If you haven't played this series, you really should. Konami released Silent Hill in 1999, a year notorious for awesome games. You had Final Fantasy VIII, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Smash Brothers, this thing, and some really good horror games as well. Silent Hill stood out among the rest for a number of reasons. It had crazy camera angles, super creepy sound effects, monsters that were equally scary and disturbing, weird puzzles that sometimes took forever to figure out, a story that left you guessing, and most importantly, it had an atmosphere that would set your teeth on edge. And that's what makes the Silent Hill series so effective and different. The atmosphere in each game is far and above more intense than any other horror game I've ever played. And while Silent Hill has its place within the archives of great horror, it doesn't hold a candle to its successor.
James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else?
On the surface, Silent Hill 2 looks the same as the first one, but it took the franchise in a whole different direction while using the same basic premise. You're still in Silent Hill, you're still looking for a lost loved one, but this time, almost immediately, a seed of doubt is planted. Silent Hill 2 is phenomenal. It has a great story with rich symbolism, a chilling atmosphere, a collection of memorable monsters, great voice acting.
This town is full of monsters. How can you sit there and eat pizza?
Yeah, I said it. The voice acting is amazing. The actors were able to tune into their characters in such a way that it's honestly hard to find even with recent games. Every time I get to the end and I hear Mary's letter, it gets me every time.
I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me.
Of course, I can't talk about Silent Hill 2 without talking about this cutie pie right here. Red Pyramid, or Pyramid Head, is a center of controversy between Konami and the fans. Big Red is the town's way of punishing James. It represents his guilt and shame for the crime that he committed. Konami, in their infinite wisdom, didn't see it that way. When the movies came out, Pyramid Head became the face of the series, which is all well and good, but that also meant putting him into games that had nothing to do with him. Way to go, Konami. Another smart business choice. For real, I could go on forever about this game. This is my all-time favorite game, and I encourage everyone who watches this to play it, even if that means playing the HD collection. We could spend all day talking about this one, but we got more games to cover. Silent Hill 3 takes the series back to its roots with a plot that's closer to the first one, but takes on its own identity with its main character, Heather Mason. Heather just felt more real than the previous protagonists. 3 is also way more visceral than the previous two. It takes the series to a new level in terms of great-looking, disturbing imagery and weird stuff. Throwing up a god. Fun! The soundtrack to this one too. I'm sorry it's taken me this long to say this, but Akira Yamaoka is a freaking genius. Now, I may lose some of you here, but I really enjoyed The Room. It does get flack for a good reason though. It had better controls, better graphics, and a better combat system, but for some, that made it less like Silent Hill and more like a generic horror game. However, the character design and story really sold it for me. The Room also has something that I have yet to see be beaten by any other horror game. The scariest intro ever. Seriously, this is horrifying! Too bad the rest of the game wasn't as scary as this. And then there's the rest of them. The next few installments in the series really went downhill very fast. It's not that they were bad games per se, but stacked against the first four, they weren't Silent Hill games. Origins was kinda boring. Homecoming had a really stupid story. Book of Memories tried to make the series a top-down dungeon crawler for some unknown reason. Shattered Memories took away one of the best things about Silent Hill games by not even letting you fight the monsters, and Downpour, I don't even think they tried. In 2014, things were finally looking up for the Silent Hill franchise. PT dropped out of nowhere and scared the crap out of everyone. Seriously, no other game scared me like PT did. I had stress headaches making my way through it. And then, to make things even better, we find out that Hideo Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, and Norman Reedus were all involved. This'll be what we've all been waiting for, a revival of the best horror series ever. And then...
In the arms of the angel.
This broke my heart. I was so ready to see this beloved franchise given a fresh look and handled by a man who prides himself on storytelling. Not all of his stories are great, but just playing PT and watching the concept movie made me so excited. So instead of giving us a brand new Silent Hill game, what did Konami give us? A pachinko machine. I guess the only thing that Konami hates more than its fan base is money. Silent Hill will always hold a special place in my heart. It's a great mixture of disturbing visuals and heart-wrenching storytelling that even now is hard to find. Many have tried to duplicate the effect that Silent Hill had on gaming, but they fall short. I just hope that one day we will see a revival of the series, but that may be wishful thinking. For now, I'll play the originals and pray that one day Konami will see the error of their ways.
James, you made me happy.